1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, we are pleased to be joined now by a very, very special guest, Corina Conley from Kentucky Wesleyan. Corina is a women's basketball player, but she also serves as Kentucky Wesleyan's SAC chair. And we've told our audience a little bit about SAC, so I won't give you guys too much of an introduction there. But the reason that we have Corina on was that Kentucky Wesleyan was able to participate and really facilitate a really, really cool event last week, actually. You guys were able to make a wish come true for a Make-A-Wish child. And you guys a couple weeks ago probably heard Trent talk about Make-A-Wish and the partnership that Division II SAC and NCAA SAC has with Make-A-Wish. But Corina, I appreciate you coming on, and we're really excited to be able to talk about what you guys experienced last week in Owensboro.
Of course. Thanks, Katie, for having me. I'm really excited to get to talk about it. So excited.
Well, before we get into really what that day entailed, I really want to go back to how Kentucky Wesleyan and Kentucky Wesleyan SAC was able to get to this point. So you have to raise a certain amount of money to be able to grant a wish for a Make-A-Wish child, which is it's $10,000, and you all were able to do that last year through fundraising. Talk about those goals and aspirations that you guys went through to get to this point, and why it was so important to be able to grant this wish.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely just a credit to our EC committee last year, our SAC participants last year, because we set a goal. The year before I was on EC committee, we're like, let's raise $1,000. That was our top goal. And then I was elected community engagement chair last year, and we're like, let's do 3,500. Let's set that goal so that we can do that. We did a lot of different things. Super credit to the G-MAC SAC as well. Everyone was sharing what they were doing at the G-MAC level and how they were fundraising for Make-A-Wish. When I stepped on, I was like, I don't know how we're going to fundraise. I don't know how we're going to raise this money. We're college students, those kind of things. So it was super cool to hear everybody's ideas with Miracle Minutes. Just running around explaining what Make-A-Wish is and gain as many donations as we could. Volleyball tournaments, cornhole tournaments, just different things like that. And in our first semester, we well surpassed 3,500, and we were like, oh, that's exciting. Like, here we go. And I remember Greg approached us, and he was our advisor at the time, and he's like, we can get a wish reveal. And I'm like, oh, what's that? Like, what's the wish reveal? And he's like, we have to raise $10,000. And I was like, oh, okay, but let's do it. So I really credit to our co-presidents at the time, Wiley and Jenna, and Eric was with us at the time, and they explained that to our SAC and our EC committee, and they're like, this is an amazing opportunity. We're blowing our fundraising efforts out of the water already, and we could have a really awesome experience and opportunity here to bless a family. So they pushed that, and our student athletes bought into that, and they're like, let's make it happen. So it was just really exciting to watch everybody buy into that and put the time in, because it's not easy to raise that amount of money. So by doing 50-50, our athletic department allows us to do 50-50 at every game, and all proceeds go back to SAC and Make-A-Wish. Our Miracle Minutes, like I mentioned before, we had a home run derby. This year we did a disc golf tournament, and all those funds go back to Make-A-Wish. And when you really explain it and tell people what it is, they're willing to donate and willing to make it happen. So.
Well, you talk about that buy-in from student athletes. The SAC is a small part of the student athlete population at any campus or at any university at any level of NCAA competition. What was it did you see from the student athlete body to participate in some of those events that you were able to facilitate, as well as you talk about the Miracle Minute? You're going around to fans running around during, quarter changes or half times of football games with a bucket, asking them, for their spare change, essentially. What was it like watching that buy-in, not only from the student athletes, but just from, the Panther community and the Owensboro community?
Yeah, amazing. It's crazy in my time here. I'm a senior, and just to see everyone buy into this. I just feel super blessed to be at Kentucky Wesleyan. We're a small school. We have less than 1,000 kids on campus. But our student athletes were busy. We're students. We're also athletes, and to add this on top of it to raising money for Make-A-Wish, that's a lot to do. But to see them and their willingness to want to make a change and want to make a difference, and being involved and being signed up for events, our community members and willing to give, our partners that we have with businesses in the community, and people at games just giving their spare change, or we ask them a lot and they're still willing to give, has just been something super cool, and it's not something that is everywhere. I just feel extremely blessed to be here in Owensboro and just the community that Kentucky Wesleyan is, and giving back. It's not, we do a lot here for us, but also seeing everybody want to buy in and give back. And that has a lot to do with our leaders as well, who we've had in SAC before us, and just people on campus who push that initiative and push those things to happen, and bring the student athletes behind them and encourage them. And everybody's got different talents or different skills, and equipping them to use those to raise that money and just make a difference. And it was really, really cool, just all the work that they had put in to see it happen on October 7th was just really amazing to see how impactful it was for the family and for everybody who was involved this past year. So very cool, very amazing, all the things.
A lot of hard work obviously went into raising all that money, as you just mentioned. So you finally get to October 7th, as you mentioned, and you're able to grant a wish to a little boy. Talk about the process of setting all this up before we get into, I know you guys had a jam-packed agenda for him on that day. So how were you placed with the local, Make-A-Wish? Like, how did all of this come about for you guys?
Yeah. So we knew we were going to get the wish reveal, and got in contact with our local Make-A-Wish representatives. Erin Wilson and Lisa Reeves were a huge part of this. Erin is really cool. She was the one who contacted us. She ran cross country here at Kentucky Wesleyan, and is a recent grad. So it was cool to have a Zoom call with her, and just kind of her sharing that we were placed with Baylor and his family, and they were going to be our wish family. We were going to get to grant their wish. So that process was super cool, because we weren't really sure how this works. They were about an hour away, Baylor and his family, in Bowling Green. So they were going to travel here and just be celebrated throughout the day. So it was super cool. We had a couple weeks in advance just to learn about Baylor, some of the things that he loves, what makes him happy, and his family, so that we could really implement that into the day on last Saturday, and just make it a really super and special event. So.
Well, tell us a little bit about Baylor and about his wish, and what you were able to show him and his family about the Wesleyan way, as you guys say, and what the Saturday entailed for Baylor and his family.
Yes. So Baylor is a super awesome kid. He's 6 years old. I don't want to say what he has, because I know I will butcher the name of his condition, but his mom got to explain it. He's a miracle. He shouldn't be here today, but he's doing well and he's thriving. He's a joyful little thing, laughs at everything, has a smile on his face. His family was amazing. There was 9 of them there, mom and dad and stepdad and stepmom and his siblings. And they were super awesome, loved to be there, just really easy to work with. So we were super blessed that we were paired with them. But his wish was to go to Disney World. He loves Toy Story, so that's why he wanted to go to Disney World. So we took that and we ran with it. All of our decorations were Toy Story themed, Make-A-Wish colors, KWC colors. We had the Toy Story characters there. We had Jesse and Woody, our student athletes, dressed up in Halloween costumes and ran out and were interacting with him and his siblings. All the posters were the Toy Story characters saying, "Hey, Baylor," and the colors, and we had balloons. It was so cool. So they arrived before the football game, and we had all of our student athlete advisory committee there, and student athletes holding posters, cheering, just welcoming them, making them feel warm welcome to Kentucky Wesleyan. So we brought them there. We showed them around kind of what Kentucky Wesleyan is, what we have around. We took them on the football field. They got to meet the cheerleaders and the football players before the game. Baylor was our honorary captain that day, so he got to go out on the field with mom and big sister and do the coin toss and meet the captains, which is a super cool moment, because that's an intense time right before the game. So they got to do that. They were welcomed by all the community. And then they sat and watched the first half. And then at halftime, all of our student athlete advisory committee was out there. We took the family out on the field. I just spoke a little bit about what SAC is, what we were able to do, and the funds we were able to raise, and thanking everybody as well for making it possible. Introducing Baylor and his family. Mom gave a little speech, a very emotional and very touching speech about Baylor and just how cool and how awesome he is. And really making everybody cry. It was some waterworks going on. But then we moved their family, and we had a humongous banner and a drum roll and said Baylor's going to Disney with signs. It erupted when we opened the sign and got pictures. Our Toy Story characters ran out, and You Got a Friend in Me started playing from Toy Story, and it was just really, really magical. And then we took them off field. They stayed and watched the rest of the game. Took all the posters and things home because they were so artistic and wonderful. Our students are so talented. And we had a Kentucky Wesleyan basket. Every team gave something that represented their team, and we were able to present that to them. And backpacks also Make-A-Wish had for them ready to go for their trip down to Disney. So it was a jam-packed day. It was a perfect day. A lot of things didn't happen the way we had planned. It was a cold day. We had great weather all week, and then it was pretty cold. It was windy. We blew up like 300 balloons. Half of them popped because it was so windy. Regardless of all of that and all the things that went wrong, it was perfect. It was just a joyful day, an exciting day, and we were really able to celebrate Baylor and his family, and we were just super thankful for that. So, yeah.
For someone who saw all of this really come to fruition from the beginning, last year helping raise the money, being a part of planning his arrival, seeing it all happen, I know you've talked a little bit about it, but what was that like, just being a part of making a wish like that come true for somebody who's gone through so much in his short time?
Yeah. It's almost at a loss for words. Like, I almost can't even describe the way the day impacted us and his family. We know we were able to grant a wish for them and send them on a trip that they'll never forget and celebrate them. And we know they were blessed, but I believe that everybody who was in attendance that day, everyone who made the day happen, was touched even more, was blessed even more by what we were able to see happen and give back. It was just a surreal experience. A lot of people won't ever experience that in their life, of just the impactful, all the feelings and the wonderful things that came from that day. Was just super, super exciting. And you could tell I'm at a loss for words of even how to describe it. It's been a week and a half now since it happened, and I just can't even wrap my head around it because it was so amazing.
When you look back on SAC and you look at what Kentucky Wesleyan has been able to do through SAC on campus and throughout the community over the last couple of years, how do you feel like what is the impact that having been able to make this wish reveal come true on campus, what kind of impact do you feel like that will have on Kentucky Wesleyan SAC moving forward?
I think it'll have an extreme impact. Last year we had the buy-in, and they hadn't even seen what was going to happen from it. So seeing the wish reveal happen and everyone being able to be there and meet Baylor and just how awesome they were, we're going to want to do it every year. And I just have high hopes that we will continue to raise that money. We will continue to do those things so that this can happen every single year, because it was so encouraging and just such a blessing to be able to happen. And everyone's seen it now. So we did it before, and now we had a wish reveal. And so I think it's super exciting and going to be really impactful to not just SAC. We've had different conversations on campus about different organizations also doing the same thing, whether that's with Make-A-Wish or a different foundation that does wonderful things. So it's encouraging not just to the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, but also other organizations on campus as well, which is super exciting, and hopefully encouraging to all the G-MAC schools as well, because I just want to tell everybody to do it because it was just the greatest thing ever. And so hopefully encouraging that it is possible, and just seeing that someone else did it, and you just want everyone to do it because of how amazing it was, and how life-changing it was for a family, and you want that for as many families as possible. So the impact was great. It was a huge impact, and so I'm really excited I'm sad that I won't be here forever to see it, but I'm also just hopeful for what the future of Kentucky Wesleyan SAC is. Also the Great Midwest SAC as well moving forward.
Well, I know you talked about, some of the different SAC members that were really involved. What has been the buzz since this all has happened, since this event? I know there was a video put out and there's been pictures and everything, and we'll share some of that with some of our listeners and viewers. But what has been the buzz around Kentucky Wesleyan after everyone was able to kind of see this event take place at halftime of the football game?
Yes. Awesome. Crazy. Everyone, it's just like a different feel on campus. As we shared pictures and as we had awesome student athletes who have cameras who took videos of the whole day. Dalen and Harrison, they did a wonderful job. And Isaiah put a video together for us. And it was just super cool to encapsulate the day and put it out to remember. I think I've watched the video like 30 times. And I'm still watching it just because it was so amazing. And the talent that they were able to put that together just to commemorate the day. Looking at pictures and just like hearing the stories from different individuals. People are asking who might have missed the day or how did you guys do that? And just wondering how it happened and excited and reflecting on how special the day was. So the buzz around campus has been pretty cool. It's been a week and a half. It hasn't died down yet. People are still excited about it. People are still talking about it. We had fall break last week, and so we're coming up on our SAC meeting this Thursday. And so we're just excited to talk about it and reflect on it. We have some exciting news to share with our SAC about what happened after the fact. So we're just excited to talk about it and just get to reflect on it again and to thank everybody because everybody made that day possible, whether everyone used their talents in a different way, whether that was drawing or using their lungs to blow up balloons or taking pictures or running the Instagram that day, being with the family, just cheering and excited or setting things up. Everybody was present that day and everybody's talents were shown and were needed, regardless of how small the task may have seemed or how big the task may have seemed. So it was just really cool to have everybody involved, all of our student athletes and even students on campus who wanted to get involved when they heard what was going on and are still asking questions. What can we do for this to happen again? And just things like that. So the buzz has been pretty cool around campus.
As a student athlete, you're obviously involved in SAC on campus. You're involved in Great Midwest SAC here at the conference level. When someone asks you why you're involved in all of this and why you're involved in SAC and why it's important as a student athlete to do something other than, play basketball, what is your answer to that? Kind of in wrapping all this up, why is all that important to Corina?
Yes, because it's greater than me. It's greater than basketball. One day basketball will end. It's coming sooner than I would like. But to be able to give back to the community, to people who just deserve to be celebrated is something that's really special. Being able to be a part of SAC and to form those relationships with people, to hear other people's stories and to watch the impact from my freshman year to my senior year has been absolutely amazing. Whether that's with Make-A-Wish, whether that's going to the conference meetings and just hearing about other people and their student athlete experience, what they've struggled with, what other highs and lows been. It's just been such an enrichment to my life and my growth as an athlete, as a student, but most importantly as a person. And I'm just super thankful for SAC and everything that has happened in it and all the things I've learned, the things I've been able to be a part of, the differences I've been able to make, our SAC has been able to make, not just me, but just being a part of that, it has been just a huge blessing and been really, really important in my journey here at Kentucky Wesleyan and something that I will take far beyond here for the rest of my life. And so I'm really thankful. I was voluntold my sophomore year to be a part of SAC. And now all of these things have happened because of it. And it's just been, I'm just feeling super blessed and super thankful for the experiences that I've had.
Well, I'm happy that you mentioned that. I was going to ask you if there's a student athlete out there on a campus somewhere that's listening to this podcast and they're maybe on the fence about getting involved with their student athlete advisory committee, what would your message to them be?
Do it. don't be afraid to do it. I remember I was like, am I qualified to do this? What is this? What is this? But being a student athlete in a lot of these things, whether it Make-A-Wish and the difference that we've been able to do there has been amazing, but also my student athlete experience and things that we vote on and things that we and talk through to benefit us in our lives and in our student athlete journey as college students has been super, super cool. I remember I was really hesitant even to get involved in the G-MAC SAC and do things at a different level because I was like, oh, I'm not qualified to do these things, or I don't know how it's going to go, or things like that. But it's just been super rewarding. And anyone that I've talked to, whether they're just SAC representatives, whether they're on EC committee or on the G-MAC EC committee, they, I think, would say the exact same thing, is to step out of your comfort zone, to really just challenge yourself, but also be able to make a difference, and just see some really cool growth in yourself, in your institution, and at the conference level as well. So do it.
Well, I think those are some wise words from someone whose SAC has been very impactful to our Great Midwest SAC, and a really good part of the 14 institutions that make up our conference SAC. Well, Corina, we are so proud to have Kentucky Wesleyan as part of the GMAC SAC, and we're so proud that you guys were able to represent the GMAC and make this little boy's dream come true. It's been great to watch all of that, watch all the videos, and see all the pictures. So congratulations on all the efforts, and thanks for sharing a little bit of your story with us today.
Of course. Thanks for having us on. We appreciate you, Katie. We appreciate the GMAC.
Well, we will be looking to see maybe if we can get an update from Baylor's trip. Do you know when he's taking the trip?
They are going at the beginning, mid-November. So they're getting ready to go here soon, getting things together, but we'll have updates and pictures that we'll post once him and his family are back.
Perfect. Well, we look forward to it. Well, thanks, Corina. Good luck with the upcoming basketball season. We'll catch up with you soon.
Perfect. Thanks, Katie.